Hi, third graders. So I'm going to be doing this lesson for you today. You're going to be watching and following along and working through examples with me. We're going to be doing it together, and then you're going to do a couple on your own at the end and submit it into our Microsoft Teams. Today we are going to be reviewing and working with arrays. So what is an array? We know that an array is an arrangement of objects, pictures, or numbers in columns and rows. That's what we call an array. And arrays are useful representations of multiplication concepts. So it's important to remember that multiplication is when you put two equal groups together to find the total. And so we know that in an array, it shows equal groups in rows and columns. So that's kind of our background knowledge. We already know that, we're just reviewing, but wanted to run through it with you guys again. So starting off, we're going to watch a little video about arrays and how it helps us multiply and how we can use arrays.
How many muffins do we have for the bake sale? Wait, Moby. You don't have to count each muffin. That'll take a long time. You can use an array to help you count. What is an array? An array is a set that shows equal groups in rows and columns. I can organize these muffins into an array. I can group them into 3 rows with 2 muffins in each row. Or I can group them in a different way. I can make 2 rows with 3 muffins in each row. Right. You can also make 1 row with 6 muffins. You can find arrays in a ton of places. You could find them in a muffin tin, or an ice cube tray, a pack of soda, a checkerboard, a window pane, and on a phone. Arrays make counting easier, but how do arrays help you count? Sometimes counting things one by one can take a long time, but arrays arrange things into equal groups so you can count sets. Let's see. There are 2 rows of daffodils, and there are 4 daffodils in each row. You can write a number sentence to find the total number of daffodils. 4 plus 4 is equal to 8. There are 8 daffodils. It's faster to add doubles than to count each flower one by one. There are 3 rows of tulips, and there are 3 tulips in each row. We can add to find the total. 3 plus 3 plus 3. Let's see. 3 plus 3 is equal to 6, and 6 plus 3 is equal to 9. Arrays can also help you multiply. When you multiply, you put equal groups together to find the total. Multiplication is an operation, just like addition or subtraction. But how do arrays help you multiply? We need to pick up 12 eggs for Grandpop. How many eggs are in there, Moby? There are 2 rows, with 3 eggs in each row. You can multiply to find the total number of eggs. First write the number of rows. That's 2. Then write the number of eggs that are in each row. That's 3. The X symbol means to multiply. This number sentence tells you that there are 2 sets of 3. So the answer is 6. There are 6 eggs in that carton. No, It really doesn't matter what order you multiply, Moby. An array of 2 rows with 3 in each row is the same as an array with 3 rows with 2 in each row. There are still 6 eggs. They're just organized in a different way. Grandpa wanted 12 eggs. We only have half a dozen eggs now. Let's see. There are 2 rows of 6 eggs. That means there are 2 sets of 6. So 2 times 6 is equal to 12. That's exactly how many eggs we need. See, Moby, arrays can make counting and adding a lot faster. But I'm not sure we made enough muffins for the bake sale. I think that's enough, Moby.
So that's what we learned a little bit about arrays. So after watching that video, we learned how it can help in our multiplication. You can arrange the arrays in different ways and still have the same number of objects. You can have 2 rows with 3 in each row, so 2 sets of 3, or you can have 3 rows with 2 in each. We know that the arrays can help us multiply because you take the number of objects in that row multiplied by the columns. So remember, it doesn't matter what order you multiply. So we will look at the first example. I'll do the first 2 examples and you guys make sure you're following along and going at the same pace. So when I look at this array, I notice that there are 2 rows. This is the first row and this is the second row. And each row there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know that there are 5 columns and 2 rows. So when I want to write this down, let's see. So I know there's 2 rows of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 5. So I could say 5 or 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. And if I count all of them up, I know that the answer is 10. If I want to write this as a multiplication problem, then I'm going to write, give me a second here. I'm going to write 2 because we take the rows multiplied by the number in each row or the columns times 5, and I've already found out that the answer is 10. So that's how we write our multiplication problem. Remember, the x means we multiply. So 2 times 5 equals 10. 2 rows of 5, 1, 2 of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equals 10. Looking at the next example, this one's a little bit more difficult. We have a lot more. So let's see, how do I go about finding the rows? Well, I can see that there's this one. So that's 1, 2, and 3. I know that these are a row because it's an equal amount of groups and they're on top of each other. So 1, 2, 3 rows of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So then there's 6 blocks in each row, or 6 columns, because we could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then in each of these, there's 3. So I know either way can be 3 rows of 6 or 6 rows of 3. So then if I count those up, the hard way, I could count them one by one by one, but we don't want to do that. So I know that when we're doing our multiplication problem, instead of adding them all up, we can say 3 multiplied by 6 equals 18. So then I know that 3 rows of 6 equals 18. Okay, we're gonna do the next one together. Let's see. I see 1, 2, how many rows? I see 3 rows. Then how many are in each row, or how many columns are there? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I see there's 7. So if I want to make you want to make a multiplication problem, how would you write your multiplication problem? I know you guys can do this. You take the number of rows multiplied by the number of columns. So it's 3 times 7 equals, anyone know what it is? 21. So I know 3 rows of 7 is 21. Well, now we're going to make a multiplication sentence for the array. So there's no more outline for us. We have to figure it out all on our own, but I know you guys can do it. You're gonna help me, okay? So I see 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So I know I would write down 4 rows. And then I want to say of 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4 in each of them. So 4 rows of 4. Oh my goodness. We solved that one all by ourselves. Do you guys think that you could do the next one? How would you write it out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we know 5 rows of, what's the next one? How do we know? I know you guys got this one. You guys wrote down 3. I know you did. How do you know that? Can you explain it to me? Yep, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, and in each row there's 1, 2, 3, or 3 columns. Good job, you guys. Okay, next, you guys are going to be finishing, since you already did that one, you're going to draw an array to find the answer of this multiplication problem. You guys will do this one so you can pause the video and work on it. You guys will be drawing an array. You can use any object or an X, a block, a circle. Just make sure it's in equal groups and draw the array. And so you guys will do this one on your own, write it down on a whiteboard or on a piece of paper, and you will also be doing the next one, which I will end on, and you can pause the video and finish it, and then submit this into your Microsoft Teams. And if you have any questions, reach out to me and I'll help you. Here is the second problem. So pause on the video when you want to work on it and submit it into Microsoft Teams.